We have the release of the Pandora's papers. This is the latest document dump, and it kind of follows up on the Panama Papers. I don't know if everyone remembers those Panama Papers, which exposed the money laundering of the political elite and the wealthy of the world. In those papers, you had people like Christine Lagarde, who was exposed, but nothing happened to her. She just kind of got promoted up. This time you have the Pandora Papers, which have been released, and the Washington Post has gone through those papers. And what have they reported? Actually, all of the mainstream media, the Western mainstream media, has gone through those papers. And what have they reported? Well, they've reported that the evil Vladimir Putin bought his girlfriend a bunch of homes. That is really what they're running with here. I'm actually in Belgrade right now. Over here is the president's palace, right there. And this is the center of Belgrade, Serbia. But yeah, the Pandora's Papers and the mainstream media has gone through thousands and thousands of documents. We're talking thousands of documents, literally like within a day. And they've come to the conclusion that King Abdullah of Jordan has $100 million hidden away in various banks. Some of the banks are actually in like North Dakota or South Dakota, which is really odd. You have a lot of elite and political class that have hid their money there. But King Abdullah has $100 million hidden away. Big surprise. He's the king of Jordan. So I don't think that should surprise anybody. Actually, I was reading it. I was saying only $100 million? I would figure he'd have a lot more. And of course you have Putin. That's the big story for the Western mainstream media, is Vladimir Putin. That he has a bunch of homes, many of which he's bought for his girlfriend, which is a kind of cover for him hiding his own real estate properties, his own real estate holdings. So he just puts it under his girlfriend's name, and all of these real estate holdings are his, and these real estate holdings are like in the tens of millions of dollars. And so that's the big reveal. Once again, trying to paint Vladimir Putin as a corrupt politician. I don't know. You know, the fact that the guy's a multi-billionaire, sure, I don't think that should surprise anybody. The fact that he has a bunch of homes all over the world, I don't think that should surprise anybody. The fact that he puts it under his girlfriend's name or bought it for his girlfriend, okay. I mean, you know, two things come to mind when I look at these Pandora's Papers. The first thing is this. First thing that I think of is they went through these papers, the mainstream media, and they said they were authentic and everything was on the up and up, literally like within a day. While you had stuff like the Hunter Biden laptop and the documents from Hunter Biden, which it took them 6 months to finally come through and say that those are authentic. The mainstream media, Politico, like 2-3 weeks ago, Politico finally admitted that those documents are indeed real. The New York Post knew they were real, but they got completely banned on social media and censored. And the entire mainstream media was going through the Hunter Biden documents saying, I don't know if it's real, we can't really look through them, I don't know what's going on here, it may be Russian disinformation, so we won't touch it. So that's the first thing. The Hunter Biden documents, they can't touch it, right? It takes them 6 months to go through it and to make sure they're authentic. But the Pandora Papers that are going to implicate, of course, Vladimir Putin and the other evildoers of the world, well, they can go through those in literally like an afternoon, a sit down at Starbucks, drinking a coffee, and they can say that they're authentic. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. The second thing that comes to mind is, how come they never find US politicians or Western politicians? I wonder how much Trudeau is hiding away. What about Nancy Pelosi? How do you end up being worth hundreds of millions of dollars being in the House? I mean, she's worth hundreds of millions. There was someone on our locals community, and this is a really good post, and they put a post on locals, and what it showed was that in the past year, Nancy Pelosi has actually outperformed just about every investment expert and investment house on planet Earth. Like, she's gotten an annualized return of like 69% in stocks, where like the experts of the experts aren't hitting that number. Like they're hitting, I don't know, 20%, 10%. Nancy Pelosi's at 69%. I mean, she blows the competition out of the water. I'll put a screenshot for that so you can see it. How does that happen? Is Nancy Pelosi an investment genius? What about Obama? Obama got an $80 million Netflix deal to produce movies and documentaries. I never knew that Obama was a film producer. He was a community activist in Chicago / film producer, and he got 80 million right off the bat because he was so good at film producing. That's the interesting part about the US. You see, the US has done one clever thing, and much of the West, right? The US, the UK, Canada, they've done a very clever thing. They've legalized massive corruption. How do they do it? Well, you work in the government for 4, 5, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. You do what you're told, and then you get rewarded on the back end. And that's what happens with, say, like Obama. He does what he's told for 8 years, and he gets a sweet deal with Netflix. I mean, I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg as well. Or, you know, all the defense guys or the generals that end up being directors on the board for all the military companies, Raytheon and Lockheed, right? Or Susan Rice is also on Netflix. That's how they do it. That is how they do it. That's how they get rewarded. Of course, you have guys like Trudeau that do stuff with the We charity, and Pelosi, who invests in all these stocks that are just suddenly getting sweet deals from the government weeks later, and their price pumps, like the Amazon cloud deal, the Microsoft Amazon cloud deal, where she made a killing. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that's the short video from the city center of Belgrade. And yeah, everyone's clutching their pearls because Putin has billions tucked away and he's buying homes. Big whoop-de-doo. I would like to see the papers that expose Obama, Pelosi, Trudeau, and all of these guys. I would love to see that document dump. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Go to the Duran.locals.com. Check us out there. Super U, Rumble, BitChute, and ODYSEE is where we post all our new media videos on those platforms. And go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code REALNEWS. Take care.